This is the new Arrma Kraton EXB V2. And if you know anything about Arrma, the Kraton is their flagship device. We have it here on our bench. We just got it in. We're taking a couple look-sees over this new vehicle, and we're going to take it out for a bash and see what it all has. But one of the things that catches my eye right away is the new look and feel of this new Arrma Kraton EXB V2, ready to run. So it comes ready to run with the new V2 Spectrum Firma electronics. This is gray and black version. I'm going to call it the gray and black version. It's no longer orange and black. We have gray and black on this new ESC. I did go ahead and check and make sure that this thing is up to date because there was a software update that came out for these when these trucks first launched. But since their launch, they've been pretty hard to get. I do see that they now are in stock at Horizon Hobby. So if you don't have one and you have been trying to get one, you should be able to get one from Horizon Hobby now at this point. We have the new 25-tooth servo on here. There are some updates along the way that this new ready-to-run Kraton EXB V2 has, including the shocks, which are pre-tuned, and I've heard are really good. We're going to put that to the test. We're going to throw on two 3S batteries in here, get it on 6S, and we're going to go out and we're going to put this to the Garage Life RC test. The biggest thing that stands out in my mind that I see right off the bat is the differentials. We have the new red anodized aluminum differential housings. The plastic ones that were on the older models have been done away with. They're coming with the new anodized red aluminum differential housings, and that's one of the things that I love about Arrma and how they pay attention to their customers and what they want. So when they come out with a new model, they tend to make the updates that the customers want in those new models. So I always love when we come out with new versions because I like to see what they do and what they've listened to. From there, subtle changes. I don't see a whole lot just that are jumping out of my eye saying this is new. You know, we have a little bit different of shock caps. They do say EXB on there now. The springs, instead of silver, they're more of a black color. We have the new electronics in here. The chassis looks the same. A lot of the bracing and everything looks the same. There's a little bit differences. There's a V2 wing mount, which is supposed to hold up better than the version 1. We're going to put that to the test here today as well. I did do a couple of modifications myself already to this rig that I'm sure you've caught on to already. I do have the shock covers on here. I wanted to see if the current 6S lineup that I have for shock covers fit on here, and they do fit right up. I also wanted to check if this front bumper spring was any different than the previous models, which it's not. So the front bumper spring that fits on the previous models that I have also fits on this, so we have that. We don't have to worry about that plastic bending here and cracking anymore. So it's time. We're going to tighten up the lug nuts and we're going to take this thing out for a test and see what we all have and what we think with this new Kraton EXB ready to run V2. Stay tuned. Alright, so we are back here after our first run, and we have some initial impressions on how this thing runs. So overall, I think this thing handled really good. I like the stock suspension setup out of the box. I think they have it really plush. It lands nice. This thing flies really nice in the air. We have really no breakages. A couple things that happened that I'll show you guys. Number one, we're in a lot of dirt and rock, as you can see from the video. So I think a lot of that dirt got in everywhere, but we got the squeaks everywhere.
Hey.
So we're gonna have to get some lube in there. We'll get that lubed up and everything should be good to go there. Now we do have something with the fans. I'm not 100% sure what is exactly going on with the fans. If there's something stuck in there that I'm not seeing. I don't see anything stuck in there. But every time the fans, they had a ticking going on with them, and it might be just when the truck is upside down, maybe the fan blade moves a little bit in there. I got to figure out which fan it is exactly making the noise. But one of these fans, it sounds like the blade is hitting something. I don't see a rock stuck in there, so I don't think it's that. The battery tray is, you know, pretty standard Arrma battery tray. They're not the best in the world, but they're definitely not the worst. They're better than a lot of them out there. It seems like, I don't know, the Velcro just gets, there's so much Velcro going on when you're strapping everything down. It just seems to become quite the cluster, but it works, and it works fairly well. So I can't really complain with it too much. It's just not necessarily my favorite system out there, but then again, I don't really have a favorite one. Coming around to the rear here, this is where we had some damage. So I had some nasty ticking going on, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, and I was trying to figure it out. And as you can see in here, so we did somehow bend this rear drive shaft. So look how bent that is. We somehow bent that up. I'm not exactly sure what happened. So we bent that up. We pushed the shock off here. We messed that up a little bit. I think it's fine. It just needs to be snapped back into place. But as this drive shaft is coming around, it is hitting the shock. I think what happened, let me turn this around here. I think right in there, there is a rock. So I think a rock got in there and then maybe wasn't allowing flex of some sort. Either that, or there might have been, with that terrain, a rock might have got hit up in here. And then as this came around, crunched it and bent it. So there's some obvious scraping. Something happened here, but it happened on this side too. So I don't know if it's just a rock gets in here and then kind of moves around. This just seems like dirt. Not 100%, like, not quite sure, but and then you can see it started taking out some of the control arm as well. But I continued to run it. I ran the battery packs out, so I saw throughout the run that this was bent, but I continued to run it anyway. The wing mount seems to have held up so far. Everything seems to be pretty good. I think the diff fluid and everything like that is pretty solid in my opinion. I think it's set up pretty well. As you can see back here, I have a skid plate that I created and put on here to test out. That seemed to hold up good. A few little dings in that I got some taken out, but that's what these skid plates are, right? Like they're gonna help protect the chassis from some of this. As you can see, it helped protect a lot of it, but we still got some scrapes here. I'm going to design some other skid plates here, but that spot that I was driving is really hard on vehicles, especially when it's super dry like this and the big rocks are out. Other than that, I did have a couple problems getting the radio system. I had some electrical problems right away, so I had made sure here on my bench before I went out that everything was working right. I had steering, I had throttle and brake, and I got out there and I turned it on. It was like the radio wasn't bound up to the truck. So I didn't bring any tools with me, so I had to come all the way back home, rebind up the system, and then it just seemed a little glitchy. Every time I turn it on, it takes like a second to connect, and it's like things would flinch a little bit, and then it just seemed like there's a loose wire of some sort. Like things are just glitchy and weird. I noticed there was times when I was driving that like I'd hit the throttle, but it wouldn't necessarily respond right away, and then it would kick in a second later. So I think that there could be some sort of electrical issue with it. So I'm going to hook this back up and make sure that everything's up to date with it. I might swap out the receiver, make sure everything's good there. I don't necessarily think it's anything related to the ESC. I think if anything, it might be receiver related. So I don't think it's ESC related. I think it's receiver, if anything. Other than that, everything else looked to hold up good. I think it just needs a little bit of oil to get rid of some of these squeaks in the hinge pins here. And then I need to get a new CVD for the rear, or dog bone for the rear, which I probably have one laying around, so I'll just see what I have. It should fit from the other Kraton. Probably have one laying around I can just throw right in there. So we'll get that fixed up, and then we'll get it out here again, and we'll go to a different spot, and we'll test it out again. So thanks for checking this video out. Appreciate each and every one of you. Be on the lookout for a giveaway. We got a big giveaway coming, so you're going to have to follow on social media to find out what it is. It will be in the form of an RC car, so brand new as well. But how you enter, you're just going to have to figure that out on your own. So make sure you're subscribed, scan QR codes if you see them, and do all the fun stuff, because this is going to be a fun contest. Until I talk to you guys again soon, be blessed and have a great day.